right, you should be up.
Oh, hey, what's up? Someone said Henry's back. Henry's not back, guys. Like we said before, those of you who know this, Henry is currently live on the set of a hybrid nature documentary, erotic exploitation movie that takes stylistic cues from mid-period Wes Anderson, and is being shot fully on a Samsung Galaxy phone. So, that's where Henry is. Henry will be back with us after the Thanksgiving holiday. For those of us who are here early, what's up? It's Wisecrack Live. Burns here. Michael Luxembourg. Michael
Hello.
times two. A couple just housekeeping things, friends. So today is Wednesday, November 20th. Nice to see you. Um, I'll say it. Today's my third wedding anniversary. So,
Congratulations to
you know,
Burns.
they say if you make it past the first 3 years, who knows what's going to happen next. But uh, we're here now. There will be a Monday stream next week on November, whatever that is. Um, there will not be a stream the Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. So that will not be a thing that happens for you in your life. And then we'll be back the Wednesday after that. So, if anyone really plans their life rigorously around the streaming schedule, first of all, don't do that. Second of all, there you go. And in terms of a couple other things, be vigilant. Be aware that we're dropping our second video over on the new channel, Wisecrack 2, tomorrow. Patrons have access to it today. It's on cars. It's a video that is riffing off an idea that Michael Luxembourg himself has had for a while.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
you know,
I can turn myself up if I'm
so
quiet in the chat.
yeah. Um, so that's coming out Friday. We have a video coming out on the main channel that is about. It's one I'm really excited about, guys. The gist of it is, I'm not going to give you guys the watered down, clickbaity title version. And thanks for liking the stream, friends. Oh, and an early happy birthday to Erica Felton. Um, the video is coming out Friday, written by one of our new friends and researchers and writers who is doing her PhD in psychiatry and things of that nature. And it is on the way in which we could take the paranoid, schizoid, you know, psychoanalytic archetype and use it to understand types of conflict and thinking we have at the cultural, political, and social level in America. So I'm really excited about it. I think that you all will like it very much. So that's coming out on Friday. So do check that out. In the meantime, we have various things to talk about today. One of them I want to talk about is that, you know, like America, you might have heard of it. Some of us live here. Is in a particular spot. Is in a peculiar, unique spot. And that main spot is that it's getting really dumb. Um, it, we got these cabinet picks. So the cabinet is like a big locker room in the White House where all these people go inside of. They get to make decisions for the country about various things. And some of the cabinet picks are so bad. They're nuts. They're so weird, and they're all these people that are like adjacent to television, reality TV, as we'll talk about, professional wrestling. Um, some of them are adjacent to the areas in which they are supposed to be, experts in. Others are just people. They're just random people put in charge of specific areas in our country of which they have no expertise. And I feel like a thing we come back to a lot, and a lot of things we've talked about recently are red green. We're not domed. We could be domed. We're definitely doomed. We're maybe domed. Um, Also, a friend who had never really watched like a wisecracky stream before watched one the other day and then just started texting me and was like, "What is dome? Why are you talking about raw dome? I'm very confused." So Rice and Brown, I did not see Trump's statement on how he plans to make universities great again. Can you tell me where it is or share a link and we'll look at it because that's really on point with what we're talking about today. But so I want to talk about that. And then we'll talk a little bit about Tasha. I know a little bit about Dr. Oz, and I know that it's not good. I know that it's not good. Someone says, is it just me or is the sync way off?
This audio
Hmm.
sync?
Yeah, let us know, friend. It could be just you, friend. I feel like if it wasn't just you, more people would be complaining because this is a whiny bunch. This is a whiny bunch. Oh boy, 1 second.
Oh, wait, that might
Ah,
actually have gone into the. Yeah. Well, we'll see if that accidentally went into the stream. I was testing to check the
yeah.
sync.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Oh, someone says it's off. It's a little off. Okay, hopefully it catches up, guys. Hopefully it all catches up. David's getting an Arnold part. Okay, it's off. Lips don't match sound. What if I did this? What if I did this? Does that make it better
Yeah,
for
I
you
don't know
regular
what
radio?
would cause that.
Who knows? You know what, friends? We're doing our best. I think, if anything, here's what we're learning in the past week or two. You know, there's been a lot of doubts. A lot of people have said, what is Henry's value? They've said, does that guy even do anything? They've said, is Henry just an AI model that Michael refers to feel less alone when streaming? They've said, should Henry be put in jail for crimes against humanity? You know, they've said all of these things. And I think what we're learning is that Henry's really useful. He's a
We're
skilled
doing something. I'm doing
individual.
something crazy right now to the image, so everyone's gonna see it. It's gonna look a little weird
That's
for a
fine.
second.
Yeah. Okay.
But it might
So,
fix the audio thing, so I hope it's worth it to everyone.
okay, great. So let's start with this. There's an NPR once you're set up there, Lux. There's an NPR link I sent over about Dr. Oz.
Yes.
Doctor, what was it?
Dr.
Is it
Mehmet
Motmet?
Oz.
Mehmet Oz. Uh, Now for those of you who are not from America, good for you. Um, Dr. Oz is someone most of us know as a TV doctor. He's a TV doctor that came to prominence via Oprah Winfrey, who's sort of like a TV based deity in America. Um, and I think that's not an exaggeration to say. Oprah's a person who exists on like a very unique transcendental plane in the American media and in the American unconscious as a figure of wisdom, value, purpose, all knowing. You know, if you were to ask someone, like, what is Oprah good at? You'd probably say she's really good at being Oprah. You know, she's developed a category of her own, and she has the ability to anoint media figures. And, you know, I can't be too mean about Oprah because she paid for two of my cousins to go to college and gave my uncle a dog. These are all true things, friends. So I have to acknowledge those. But she's also the person who gave us a guy by the name of Dr. Philip, better known as Dr. Phil. Um, which is to say that there's some people in our media life who are maybe not the best we were given via Oprah. And you know, we have our president, Mr. Donald Jemima Trump, and he came to us via Mark Burnett, TV producer of shows like The Apprentice. Um, and so Dr. Oz, and someone who's a little goofy. You know, he's like a TV doctor. He's a little goofy. He's expressed some very dumb opinions. Am I right? And I'm not looking at this article yet. Didn't he run for the Senate seat that John Fetterman got?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is wild because we all thought John Fetterman was really cool, and now we learned that he sucks, mega sucks. But you know, someone said, "Does Oprah like to slaughterhouse books?" Oprah made a lot of books very famous, and then there was a thing where Oprah, um, I think this is really fun. There was a time where like she picked like Jonathan Franzen's book. I think it was the corrections, and then Jonathan Franzen was like, actually, I think Oprah's book club is stupid, and people got really mad at him, but I thought it was cool.
Okay, I got the
But
article.
let's look.
I got the article queued up. Real quick, chat. Is the sync better now that I've done this weird kajiggering with the video?
Yeah,
Uh,
Sean, his concussion did turn him right wing.
let's.
Also, I just want to shout out my friend, my new friend. I think his name is Chaz. I had an awkward experience today, guys, where I got to his office and I went to use the bathroom, the toilet to do number one, and I walked out and there's a guy, and he said, "Are you Michael from Wisecrack?" And in my head at that moment, I thought this person was like serving me with is it called like a subpoena? You know, in the movies when someone tricks you and they're like, "Hey, are you so and so?" and you're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You've been served."
That's a subpoena.
A subpoena. For a split second in my brain, I thought I was going to get served. I don't know what it would be for. Maybe it would be that on my third wedding anniversary, my wife was filing for divorce and she decided to do it at the office here. And because of that, I feel like for a second, I wasn't super nice to this person named Chaz. I feel like I hesitated for a second, and then I felt so bad about it because he's just like a super nice dude that works in this office. He's working on a TV show. He wasn't allowed to tell me what the show was, but he said it's going to be good. So I'm excited that there's going to be a good show in the world. But, you know, I don't know why I thought I was going to be served. I just always think, do you ever have that sense where you always think someone's trying to kill you or that like something bad's going to happen? I don't know. Maybe that's just being America right now. Yeah, he did not know my street name. He didn't say "What's up, Roots." So there you go. But if Chaz ever watches this, I hope I see you again. And I'm really sorry if I was rude for a sec. I don't want to be a rude person. So let's check out this NPR article. Trump picks Dr. Oz to lead Medicare and Medicaid. So, and it's funny too, because we just made this video over at a YouTube channel called Wisecrack where we work about end of life care in America and how fucked it is. And it seems like this ain't gonna fix it. President-elect Donald Trump nominated celebrity physician Mehmet Oz to head the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Said Dr. Oz will work closely with Robert F. Kennedy to take on the illness industrial complex and all the horrible chronic diseases left in its wake. What a world. And he made the statement on Truth Social. It's so weird that we have this president who only gives announcements on Truth Social, a website that he owns. Have you ever been on Truth Social, Lux?
Oh, you know that I have.
Should Wisecrack go on Truth Social?
No, but it's fun for the gags. It's fun to poke
Yeah.
around on there and see what's going nuts.
Yeah. Guys, Lux synced it. You synced it, Lux. You sunk it.
Hell yeah.
It's been sunk.
Yeah, it
Um,
was because I was trying to play you off of my monitor.
yeah.
And instead I moved it all to the laptop. So
There we go.
it's a little tighter now.
User 50 says, is your street name Roots? It's not really. It's a sort of vaguely inside joke about Sean, I did make a Wisecrack Blue Sky account just to have one. I wanted to like make sure we had it. So we have that, but don't tell our corporate entities because guys, I like the idea of Wisecrack keeping internal access to a couple of social media things. So when inevitably we wake up one day and find out that our parent company has like sold us for parts, we have some way to speak to you. Because eventually, I mean, I've said this before. I don't know what you think about this, Lux, but and maybe this relates to me thinking that someone, and I'm on Blue Sky as well. I bet Lux is on. Are you on Blue Sky, Lux?
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky.
Someone said
Tailboy on all services.
Someone said crashed again. The fuck? Is that we crashed or Blue Sky?
I don't know.
But
I haven't gotten
this
any
maybe relates.
notifications from OBSs. We're doing excellent.
Oh yeah, I think they mean Blue Sky. But you know, I'll share a doomsday scenario I've talked about this before. I feel like it's not in play that at some point what happens is that the parent company that owns Wisecrack does something like fire all of us and then use AI models and stuff like that to make like Wisecrack videos that have, because I probably signed something at one point, which means they're allowed to use my voice. I didn't mean to sign that, but I probably did. and then they'll just make weird AI videos and then make a little bit of money off those and make money off the back catalog as they try to get as much money as they can to avoid bankruptcy. So when that happens, we'll let you know on Blue Sky what we're doing. Alley Cattails, I don't know if you need an invite now.
If anyone needs an invite and you do need it, hit me up in the Discord. I've been on that site for so long. I probably have a million.
Yeah, I forgot how long I'd been on it, and I started using it again, and I had some very weird tweets or messages on there because I started using it when I got banned from Twitter right after my kid was born. But that's another conversation for another time. Okay, so where is this? The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they're part of the Department of Health and Human Services, the agency that Kennedy will lead if his nomination is confirmed. And, we could talk about the Kennedy thing, too. This is a guy that had a literal worm in his brain that, killed a bunch of Samoans and some animals. And, Kennedy's one of those annoying guys in that I feel like a lot of freaks in American political life have 1 to 3% of things they say that are correct that can sometimes throw you off the scent. It's worse with Kennedy because 20%, maybe 15% of things he says are good. He'll talk about how genetically modified foods and all the artificial shit in our food in America is bad. And he's not wrong. It's not wrong, guys. But then he'll be fluoride in water also bad, and that's wrong. And then he'll be vaccines for kids are bad, and that's wrong. So he's annoying in that way, and I think especially for kind of health Instagram, TikTok people, someone you could definitely see them latching onto. But
he's in the Yarvin zone, dude.
Yeah,
he's in the Yarvin zone where he correctly identifies a bunch of problems that exist and then has the stupidest ideas for how to fix them.
Yeah, it's not good. And CMS manages Medicare, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act marketplaces for individual insurance, representing the health coverage of 155 million Americans. Oz graduated from Harvard. Again, guys, the funniest thing that the party and people that are so against the elites, they're all just Ivy League dudes. They're all dudes with Ivy League degrees. There's nothing more elite in America than being of the Ivy Leagues, And they're all Ivy Leagues. Trump, Ivy League dude. J.D. Vance, Ivy League dude. Oz, Ivy League. Kennedy, I'm sure he is. I don't know. If your name's Kennedy, you just are Ivy League. You have it in your DNA. He has a joint MD and an MBA from the University of Pennsylvania. I would never trust a doctor with an MBA. I don't want anyone who's trained in the best practices of business to be inside of my body at all. And he won 9 daytime Emmys. Well, great. I want the person in charge of 155 million people's health insurance to have daytime Emmys. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon. He built his career after being a guest on Oprah. He faced criticism for giving Kennedy and other vaccine denialists a platform and appearances on his show. During the pandemic, he boosted the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine without evidence. He ran for Senate as a Republican in Pennsylvania. He didn't win. He argued the government has patronized and misled the public during the COVID pandemic. The COVID-19 became an excuse for the government and elite thinkers who controlled the means of communication to suspend debate. Again, the way that we use elite now makes no sense. So the Ivy League doctor, millionaire, 9-time Emmy winner who is on TV every day, that guy's not elite. What are we doing? He's promoted questionable health advice. In 2014, he testified before the Senate after being accused of false advertising for supplements. 2015, 10 doctors wrote a letter urging Columbia University Medical School to fire him, arguing that much of the evidence on his TV show had been unsupported by scientific evidence and contradicted by it. He's a global advisor for iHerb. iHerb? An online supplement retailer, and he regularly recommends their products on social media. Supplements are just one of those things. And I'm gonna speak a little, without evidence in front of me here, and some of you can correct me. But I feel like all of the evidence we have says that supplements like basically don't work. Like they're basically not a thing. Anytime I've talked to a doctor about this, there's like a few things that work a little bit. Lawrence Gostin, faculty director of the O'Neill Institute for National and Global Health Law at Georgetown University, wrote that he is unfit to run CMS. He peddles conspiracy theories on vaccines and fake cures. He profits from fringe medical ideas. By nominating RFK Jr. and Mehmet Oz, Trump is giving his middle finger to science. I wish it'd be funnier if Trump put like Neil deGrasse Tyson in charge of. I think that'd be cool though. I'd rather have Neil deGrasse Tyson. They should put him in charge of Space Force or something.
We're going to need a congressional inquiry into which spaceship is faster, the Imperial Cruiser or the USS Enterprise.
Oh man, remember when he had his show, his like show Cosmos?
Yes.
It was on FX.
Yeah.
I think that came out at a period where I was unemployed, and pretty soon after, it was very legal and easy to just go to the store and buy like edibles in California. And I just ate a lot of those and watched Cosmos, and he was in his like CGI spaceship. That was an insane show. Let's see. So we had a House Representative, Frank Pallone, put out a statement, said the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, a workhorse agency, helps ensure access to healthcare for millions of Americans, including our nation's seniors. He says, I'm alarmed that President Trump has chosen a TV celebrity without the experience or background to lead it. Really? You're alarmed that President Trump, who is a TV celebrity without the experience or background to do anything, would then put someone who is also a TV celebrity without the experience or background to lead something? You're surprised, really? Here's what I'm feeling these days, guys. I'm feeling like we live in this world where everything is so like obviously dumb. Like we don't even have to, the dumbness isn't hidden. It's not obscured by a veil of legitimacy. It's just dumb, and it's out there dumb. I was in the bathroom at a restaurant last night. We'll talk about this in a second. Not me in the bathroom, but the thing I'm about to get into. I was in a restaurant in a bathroom, and I did what any adult does when they're in a bathroom in a public place. I took my phone out. And that's when I saw that Linda McMahon is in part of the department, is going to be in charge of the Department of Education. And this is the one I've really been waiting on because I care about education a lot. And I feel like a lot of forces in America are dismantling education. It makes me sad. And when I saw that, I just had that thought of like, this is so obviously dumb. Anyone who's not in this bubble, if you just told them, should a person with no formal background in education who once like slapped her daughter on a WWE thing and her husband's the McMahon guy, he's a bad guy. Lux, and I say that Vince McMahon, a bad guy, right?
They're both bad.
Oh, you're both bad. Yeah,
they're both fucking what is it? Defendants in the Ring Boy scandal thing.
Well, I want you to put a pin in that because I want you to tell us more about this in a second. Because we're gonna work our way to it. But what was I gonna say? But you know, I just think anyone else in the world would be like, no, that's just dumb. That's just a dumb idea to take a person with no experience in teaching, in education policy, in any of these things, and put them in charge of the department that oversees education for an entire country. You know, so that's one thing. And then they're just like a dumb, bad person who does wrestling stuff on top of that. Wrestling is not dumb and bad. Wrestling is good in many ways. We'll talk about that. Wrestling rules. Just to be clear, I don't want the wrestling boys to come at me, but it makes you just think like, am I crazy for thinking that this is crazy? Or is it crazy that we live in a system where this stuff is just so aggressively normalized where we have to act like it's normal? And it's insane to see publications. I know I'm probably not supposed to say insane. Someone let me know a word to say instead of that. But, you know, when you see like NPR, New York Times, and they have to like talk about this like it's a real thing and take it seriously, you know, the way in which sort of the conventions of media are then just sort of legitimizing this type of stuff, it makes me feel like I'm losing my mind. May 666. We did it, guys. We did it. We did it. We did it.
We did it.
We did it together. And that's all that matters. We did it together. Who's going to be in charge of the 666 thing? So by the way, this is the last stream ever because Metal Protein in the chat said I sound like Jerry Seinfeld. Steve said I almost turned into Seinfeld. Oh no, that's it. I'm either never streaming again or I'm getting like a surgery in my voice box to make me not sound like Jerry Seinfeld. So someone said asinine is a better word to be used. I appreciate that. Yeah, but I like this. But and just to give another perspective on this, another ranking member of the committee, U.S. Senator Mike Crapo.
Oh, we love Crapo.
Mike Crapo, an R from Idaho or Idaho. That's how I said Idaho, not thinking that it's okay. He said in a statement that he looks forward to learning more about Oz's vision for CMS. Far too often, patients relying on federal government healthcare programs are forced to accept bureaucratic, one-size-fits-all coverage. Dr. Oz has been an advocate for providing consumers with the information necessary to make their own healthcare decisions. They just want everyone to make their own decisions, guys. They just want everyone to make their own decisions. You know? They just want to create a marketplace where we get the information to make our own decisions. Is that information, verified by any medical sources or legitimate agencies? No, it's just thrown at us. It might be true, it might be false, but who knows?
Hey.
And we're just sort of forced to make those decisions on our own. No. Sometimes government, be daddy a little bit. I don't want government to be my daddy all the time, but sometimes be daddy a little bit. Take care of some things. I don't need to be an expert on everything. I don't want to be an expert on health policy. I don't want to be an expert on transportation policy. Just be good daddy and do some things good.
Thank you to Tasha Geeks, by the way, for throwing out five Wisecrack memberships.
Oh, Tasha, thank you so much. Very cool thing to do. Tasha Geeks is our current Lord of the Chat. I'm gonna
update that.
Lord of the Chat. It's very uncrapo. So I really like that. Really appreciate it. Tasha Geek says, if you were gifted a membership, like the stream, that's in order. So Drift King 305 asked the worst question. And it's the worst question, Drift King, because I don't know what the good answer is. What can we do about this apart from yelling and raging? What do we do? I voted. What else can I do? I don't want to sound like Seinfeld again, because when I yelled last time, I was accused of sounding like Seinfeld. What's the deal with the I don't know. Here's the real truth of it. And in a very immediate sense, there is nothing that you can do. And there's nothing that I can do. Because a lot of these people are going to get their nominations are going to get confirmed. And there's a few reasons for that. One is that now the Republicans control every part of the government. Two is that Eddie. Two is that Democrats are really bad at being aggro, right? Republicans will be aggro. They'll fight a nomination tooth and nail and just be dicks about it and don't care that they look like dicks. Democrats are all about following the rules and doing things the right way. Democrats will be this person is a fascist who's going to kill everyone and make our country terrible. We must fight them and blah, blah, blah. And then they'll be but we have to respect the legitimacy of blah, blah. It's just this thing. It's what are we doing? If someone else has better ideas, I don't say insane. I just say, es mi vida loca, and give them a goofy face. Thanks for that one, David. But if someone has better ideas for Drift King's question, and again, when I say it's the bad question, it's not a bad question to ask. It's a bad question because it's hard to think about what a good answer would be. Ooh, someone said they liked Chuck's question. Are people getting dumber, or are they just working too hard to pay attention? Chuck, I think people are working really hard. I think people are really burned out. And I think it is very hard in the world we live in the media landscape we live in, to know up from down, left from right, truth from false. It's really hard. And with everything going on right now, I do think there is a temptation that some people have. And we actually talk about some examples of this in the video coming out on Friday. There's a temptation to just say that people are dumb. And there's this thing that people do where they'll post memes that it's in this state, they vote Republican for everything, and people die young and education's bad. They deserve it. And it's no, that's a shitty thing to say. you know, it's I think it's been the theme of 2023, guys, on in the
It's
Wisecrack Live extended intellectual universe has been to really try when possible to try to think in terms of structures and not be so reductive to just blame stuff we don't like on individual bad actors. But it's hard sometimes. Uh, Sean says that anti-intellectualism is on the rise thanks to streamers like Aiden Ross. You guys see this? You guys hear this story? Trump is giving press passes to YouTube and Twitch streamers to be in the White House like press room. So, like Aiden Ross or the Nelk Boys or whoever, like they're going to be in that room, and there's going to be journalists from like the AP asking questions about like foreign policy as it relates to Ukraine, and then a Nelk Boy is going to be, I don't know what they say. I don't know what a Nelk Boy sounds like, and I don't want to know what a Nelk
never
Boy
once
sounds like.
engaged with a Nelk boy.
You can't engage with a Nelk Boy, not even a Nelk man. But the only way that policy is cool is if they invite us and we can start a Wisecracks DC bureau.
Yeah, we can stay at my parents' house.
Yeah. And government watchdog, I'll just finish this NPR thing. Accountable.us raised alarms, noted that he supports Medicare Advantage plans, which are run by commercial insurers. Nominated a person who has promoted unproven medical treatments for personal gain, opposed the Affordable Care Act, and supports the further privatization of Medicare to oversee the healthcare for millions of people, including seniors, will have devastating consequences. It's gonna be bad. You know, guys, there's not like an easy thing to say here in terms of here's why it's not that bad, or here's why it's going to be cool. The real fact of the matter is we have this place called United States of America, and for if we like it or not, it's a country that has massive military power, economic power, social, cultural influence around the world, and it is going to be run by a world historical cadre of idiots. There's no other way around it, and it's going to be run by a world historical cadre of idiots without any, and I hate to use the R word here because it's been, turned into a bad word, but with no formal resistance. I hate that the word resistance has been ruined, but there's not going to be 777 isn't a song. 777 is when I do a prayer for you. 888 is when we
secret time.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. On Monday, Lux, I don't know why this happened, but I said at 888 I would write a Wisecrack theme song. So we had a little songwriting session.
Well, you can do that too. I mean, what's the
yeah? Know. Well, for those of you who were there on Monday, I would say that was a potentially top 5 unhinged Wisecrack stream. Although it was a mix of unhinged, and I think we actually got it was some of the best Harris holing we've ever done, because we did a Johnny Harris hole, and I think we really got to something. I mean that very genuinely, guys. So and I think we got there together. Yeah, a mix of unhinged and tinge. Yeah, but so 777 we pray, 888 secret time. So everyone get ready for secrets. Please do like the stream. And just a reminder, when I get unhinged, I do so with the help of my friends over at Yes Please. Yes Please Coffee is our official coffee partner. I say partner, not sponsor, because they don't pay us to say this. But thank you, Django. But we have a deal with them where if you use code Wisecrack, you get 20% off of your Yes Please coffee. Some of the best coffee I've had my entire life. That's been confirmed many times by people in this community who have partaken of that coffee. I'm drinking some right now. I didn't die. They use 100% coffee beans. There's never dried up spider parts in their beans, so you'll never get those. And the deal is we have an ongoing at this point. I've been a little slackened with, finalizing some of this, but an ongoing Yes Please coffee contest where if you tell us how you like your coffee, you do that at wisecracklive666@gmail.com. It could be a meme, a poem, a story, a picture, a video, an animation, a song. any short thing in which you tell us how you like your coffee, why you like your coffee. I'll pick some finalists, and then our friends over at Yes Please will pick the final one. So we'll do that soon. Listen, Dominic, I don't know. This is the thing people have said a lot recently. They're like, oh, why has Hassan not had you on? I don't know, guys. I'm not mad about that. I don't know. Mr. Piker. We're not personal friends. I'd say the closest I am with him is we follow each other on one of the social medias, you know. Um, he has a lot of cool people on his show, many of whom, I'll be honest, a lot more famous and influential than me. So if he ever wants to slum it, why not? But is what it is, you know. I'm really trying to get invited on. Oh, I almost made a joke that would have got me in trouble. Backing up. But yeah, check out Yes Please, 20% off. Link in the description, all that sort of stuff. Also, just a reminder, you can hit us up at wisecracklive666@gmail.com. And I'll make sure we check the emails at some point on the show today. I'm going to go get that box opened now, so it's there. It could be your email in my box if you play your cards right.
Just a reminder, Burns, we do have to end early because of that Verso stream.
Yes. We are ending a little bit early today, guys. And oh wow. And we're ending early because what?
What's happening?
I just got a weird email. I think it's a joke, but I can't tell. Okay. Sometimes you guys send joke emails that are so obscure in funny ways that I have to really break down, like, did one of you write a funny joke email, or are there crazy people here? But guys, we have to end the stream early today because Lux, who's doing a lot of double, triple, quadruple duty this week, is helping run a stream with our friends over at Verso on video game and theory stuff. So this stream will end early today, but that stream happening over at Verso is going to be really sick. So if you are able to check in on that, you should. And we'll definitely post a link and stuff like that. So there you go. Let's see.
And Artie Fox, if you're looking for me on Blue Sky, it's tailboy.bluesky.social. TAILBOI.
Yeah. Someone said, have you gone over the MTG nonsense yet? No. Did she do a new thing? Guys, I'll Google her and see if what comes up. Marjorie Taylor Greene. What'd she do now? Misgenders trans. Ooh, that's not good. Oh my God.
Oh no. Do I need to pull something up? Do you want to send me a link?
Oh, hold on. This is in the New Republic. Let's see. I'll send you this link. Let's not put it up yet. And then maybe we'll pull this up in a second.
You just tell me when and where, bud.
Oh, okay. We'll get to this in a second. Let's talk real quick about another person who's been nominated to lead an entire department of our government, our country. And this is Lux. This is the Politico article I sent you a link to on Linda McMahon, LMM.
On the case.
So Donald Trump has tapped Linda McMahon for Education Secretary. I think it's an important job to be Education Secretary. I'll be corny for a second, friends, that I think education is one of the most important resources offered by governments to citizens. I think that education is a cornerstone of what it means to have a thriving and humane democratic society. I think, we trace it back to like Aristotle, who makes the point that you can't just magically and I'm gonna dumb down some Aristotle, friends, because it's, we're just hanging out on a Wednesday. But the dumbed down Aristotle version. Oh, Dominic, thank you so much. But the dumbed down version of the Aristotle thing is he basically is like, democracy, good, right? Good idea. People participating and making collective decisions about what's best for them. However, Aristotle says, we can't just have people who, based off their own intuitions or feelings, make those decisions. We have to have a society that values education and educates its citizens so that they can participate in democracy. There's this thing at the end of Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics that gets at this, And the gist is basically like, Wisecrack starter pack at Blue Sky sounds great. Someone should make that, or I'll try to make
you,
it.
me, Henry, I guess Amanda and Olivia if they're over there.
And then any of you guys, fuck it.
Throw Nav in there. Throw Greg Ellick in there. You guys don't know about Greg, but Greg rocks.
They can't handle Greg.
Literally no one can.
I'm trying to get them ready for Greg slowly. By 2026, we'll soft launch him. Now I just forgot where I was going.
Talk about Nicomachean ethics.
Nicomachean ethics, great. And Aristotle makes this point basically that sort of like, he says something to the effect of like, young people aren't ready to learn about or do political science. His whole point is that to really participate in political discussions at the level at which these ideas will help form, democratic societies, people need to have both experience in political and social reality and an education in those things. All that to say is, education has a wild influence on the machinations of democracy and democratic society. So if we have an education system that's thriving, that's creating people that are educated in history, politics, are educated in like media literacy, they know how to read and watch stuff, they're encouraged to be curious and open-minded, we're going to have people in our society able to ask the right questions to push us in a good direction. However, if our education system either just sucks so that people don't even have access to a good baseline education, or if even worse, our education system is ideologically slanted in ways that only let people in on a certain view of reality. And that's what we get in like Oklahoma, where the Trump Bible, this is a real thing, guys. The Trump Bible is now a required text in AP history classes in Oklahoma. What are we doing? But all to say is that's why I think it's very, very important. Let's see. Just someone said audio. Can you guys, if the sync goes off, it is what it is. Just let us know as long as you could hear us. Drift King, I would love to do a show in the 305. I really like South Florida. I think it's fun. Are there problems in South Florida? Yeah, there's a lot. But it's a fun place. Okay. Hopefully we're all still here. Now, let's get into the story about Linda McMahon, a person who I know exists because her husband is Vince McMahon, who's the big daddy of WWE, a person who's been a longtime colleague, friend of Donald Jerome Trump.
Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Fame member Donald Trump.
Yes. So how about this? Lux, let me tap you in here for a second, or to use the wrestling parlance, let me tag you in.
There we go.
What is someone for? And some of you probably know this, some of you don't. Lux is very involved in the independent wrestling world as a writer, producer, creator of all these sorts of things. It's very cool stuff. But he knows his shit. So give us like the basic rundown on Vince and Linda McMahon.
Okay, so the basic juice is Vince is an old nasty weirdo. He started WWE basically by collapsing all the old wrestling federations into one giant thing, and has sort of used that as leverage to kill unions, to monopolize everything, all that stuff. Linda is his wife. She mostly works on the business side of the show, but no one knows, or not no one, but I don't know exactly like where that line is. But she pops up on WWE programming every so often, or she used to. She was famously like dumped out of a wheelchair one time, stuff like that.
Oh, that was crazy.
But yeah, she's very much sort of oh, we got to 777 by the way, Burns. It looks like it looks like we hit 788.
Let's do a quick prayer, guys. Dear God that exists, that's maybe just a future version of an all-encompassing AI technology that's retroactively changed things in the past or created a simulation in which we now exist. We ask you that you help us be less dumb and stuff, and you help us encourage others to be less dumb and stuff. And then we pray that if, society, at least here in America, further collapses because of some very dumb people being in charge of everything, including the people we're talking about right now, that we can find small communities of our own with people we love and care about, who care about each other and people around them, that keep us safe and not fall into despair. And B, that we find really good creative media and artistic outlets to either consume or create things that help us get in touch with our humanity and the humanity of others without falling into a despair. But most importantly, we ask that you let us occasionally consume really unhealthy foods to make us feel good without our cholesterol going up so much that we die. In all of your various names, we say, Amen. So there we go, guys. We prayed.
Amen.
Um,
So yeah, to get back to the thing, basically, she's on the business side of things mostly. She's been in the ring a little bit. Matt pointed out it kind of seems like a marriage of convenience. No one knows, all the details to their lives, but she's very much been implicated on the business side in a lot of the more shady stuff that's happened, including the current controversy, which is this or controversy, something current horrible thing that's happening, which is this Ring Boys thing, which is basically that the McMahons were very much aware and in fact potentially facilitated the sexual abuse and sort of assault of various sort of ring boys and girls who were like volunteers effectively, working the shows, building stuff, things like that. And so yeah, she sucks. She's not qualified to run the Department of Education. She has no real relationship to that. She and Vince made a lot of money by basically exploiting the law. Like they're not particularly like good at anything. But yeah, effectively Linda was the business end of things for, as Matt points out, a lot of basically all of the cover-ups. Throughout the years, there's been a bunch of WWE controversy stuff where, again, controversy aren't word, WWE doing horrible things, and she basically was in charge of covering all that stuff up.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Long and Pork. So yeah, she's bad. She bad.
She bad as hell. Not bad as hell. Not like that. But...
Not like the cool way. Not in the cool way where like someone's cool and you're like, oh, she's bad as hell. Like, no, she's bad as hell. So let's look at this political thing. It says, McMahon gained prominence as a powerful force in making World Wrestling Entertainment a multi-billion-dollar enterprise before she led the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term. She remained an important player in his orbit. She was appointed to the Connecticut State Board of Education, but she resigned roughly a year later in 2010 when she made a failed run for Senate. And I know that a part of her Senate run involved her lying about having an education degree when she did not. She's a graduate of East Carolina University. Fun fact, that's the closest university to where Mr. Beast headquarters is.
Go Purple Pirates.
Yeah. Bachelor's degree in French, and she's certified to teach the language. So this is like her claim to fame for education is that 53 years ago, she got a French language certificate in college. That's her claim to fame. To put this in perspective, 20 years ago, I got a certification as like a swim instructor, lifeguard thing or whatever. I couldn't do that. I really honestly didn't deserve it at the time. The people that let me teach their kids how to swim could have just thrown their kids in the water on their own and they would have had as good of a chance of making it. But it says she has minimal education experience. Guys, she has none education experience, but is the board chair of the America First Policy Institute, a conservative think tank stocked with other Trump insiders. And she'd likely sail through her Senate confirmation. You can just start an institute. It doesn't mean anything. You can say, oh, she's on the board of the American First Policy Institute. It's not even a real thing. It says she's been a fierce advocate for parents' rights. Their whole thing with that, it's like the same thing you see with our boy Doc Oz. Is this idea?
Hi, Henry. Henry's here.
Oh, is Henry in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Henry? And guys, again, Henry is working on an all CGI remake, an all CGI hypersexualized remake of the film Old Yeller. That's very exciting. She's in her 70s, guys. So when I say 50-something years ago, I really mean that. I really mean that. Um, but notice this emphasis we have, right? In the Dr. Oz world, it's like we want to give patients um, responsibility or their decision making process in their healthcare choices. And we might think at a very intuitive basic level, well, yeah, that makes sense, right? People should make decisions about their own health, sure. But what's underlying that is they're basically saying, let's dismantle government run healthcare systems, replace them with profit driven commercial healthcare options that are hard to discern what you get for what costs what, all this sort of stuff, and then put it on, you know, the patient to make those decisions. I'll give you an analogy. Maybe you go to your local diner and you look at the menu and it's like 3 pancakes, 2 pieces of bacon, hash browns. Great, I know what that means. Patty melt with fries. I know exactly what that means. Mac and cheese with bacon on top. Awesome. But let's say I take you and I fly you to Seoul, South Korea, and I take you to a Korean restaurant. I give you the menu, and it is all in Korean, and you've never had these foods before. And I say, hey, but you make a choice. Consumer choice, guys. Oh, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. Well, it's hard to say that you have freedom to do whatever you want when you don't know what the fuck is happening in front of you. Loose analogy, but go with me here. And we see a similar logic at play when we do this education stuff. Like parents' rights. Parents should have the right to choose things about their children's education. Again, there's an intuitive sense in which we say, sure, that makes sense. But what we really end up with is a dismantling of any, universal force that keeps education at a certain standard. We give everything to the states. Even further than that, we let in charter schools and private interest and vouchers and all this sort of stuff, such that there's no control over the quality of education. And then we tell parents, and let's be honest, most parents are not experts in education, nor should they be, right? Most parents don't have a background in pedagogy, and then we just ask them to make these decisions. It's sort of control in the guise of freedom. We give the individual a feeling of freedom while dismantling all the systems that we could say lead to something more like a collective freedom. And what's more American than that, right? Apple pie, hot dogs, and dismantling systems of collective good to make people feel like they're free when we're really just draining any of that collective freedom from the tub of existence. It says the Secretary of Education shall fight tirelessly to expand choice. These people really like choice sometimes, and they really hate choice other times, to every state in America, and empower parents to make the best education decisions for their families. Also, too, if you're a working parent, wouldn't you just like to have a system where you could, I don't know. It says she's criticized college degree requirements for jobs and said reversing degree inflation is good for workers. She believes higher education isn't meeting the needs of employers seeking skilled workers and has advocated for increasing access to career and technical education. We said this before. One of those things where sometimes these people say stuff that's like, okay, I get that, but it's a little more insidious, right? Because, when we say higher education isn't meeting the needs of employers, it's implying like a teleology in which the point of higher education is to prepare you to work in certain private industries, rather than education being about your humanity, expanding your own consciousness, learning more about what it means to be a person in the world, whether that's via science, art, communication, whatever it might be. And of course, like creating access to better careers via technology education is awesome, but like I just don't really care about what a billionaire with no experience in higher education or public policy or labor thinks about education or like what the working class needs. Says she's a strong proponent of expanding the Pell Grant. She's expressed an interest in ensuring higher education and the workforce are more aligned. Don't love that. Do not love that. She says our educational system must offer clear and viable pathways to the American dream, aside from 4-year degrees. Pretending college is the path for everyone is incredibly outdated. Guys, I'll say like that sentence on its own is fair, right? That's fair. But she hasn't had she hasn't had many high-profile education roles. What really whetted my political appetite was actually starting with the State Board of Education. I've always been such a proponent of education.
I love education.
Yeah. Education is my favorite. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Linda. Blah 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 blah. Da 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 da. On K through 12 policy, she expressed support for school choice. It's just like free market shit, and has emphasized parental involvement. She has argued on social media platform X that school choice will level the playing field by breaking down barriers of economic disadvantage and offering parents, all caps, control over their children's education. It feels insidious to put control in all caps like that.
Fucking so evil sounding.
Control! Oh, man. Pizza Boy is wet for education. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I think I know what it's referring to, but Mav says that's not what she really wants. Yeah, of course. Like, again, they're so good at using language. Let's see. Logan Reese says, something really depressing about the idea that pursuit of knowledge should be tied to profitability. Yeah, like they're different things. They're just different things. She's also been critical of diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Shouts to Matt Walsh. We ought to make sure that we do have diversity, but to make mandates on apprenticeship programs, it just destroys the opportunity that many businesses would have to train people. Lawmakers quickly lauded the president's choice for her to lead, including Burgess Owens from Utah and Tim Walberg from Remick, who are vying to lead the House committee. Together, we will overhaul the Department of Education to better serve students and uphold the rights of parents. Our educational institutions must be better connected with real-world jobs and in-demand fields. No, they shouldn't. But whatever. Also, you ever think about how all these people, like, do you think the McMahon's kids went to public schools? Do you think Trump's kids went to public schools? Do you think J.D. Vance's kids go to public schools? Do you think that Dr. Oz's kids have gone to public schools? No. Here's what we have, guys. A bunch of, let's call them what they are, elites whose children have never stepped foot inside a public school unless it was to go there for, like, maybe the public schools where they sell the good Christmas trees in the neighborhood as a fundraiser for the football team. So they've gone to the public school just to buy a Christmas tree or something because the football team couldn't afford pads. And they're gonna tell kids and parents what they need to do because they relate. They don't. They don't at all. I just want to note that I have an ad on my screen on Politico.com, and the ad just says, flip a marble into your jar of peanut butter, here's why. And it's a picture of a marble and a jar of peanut butter with an arrow pointing to the marble. Guys, it sounds like that's a way to die. Because if you put a marble in your peanut butter, you might make yourself a peanut butter snack, and you don't see the marble, and then you eat it, and you choke to death on the marble. So it's an advertisement for death.
I don't understand. It's where we're at now as a nation.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a high-level metaphor.
Enjoy the easy way out. A marble in your peanut butter.
And this way, they'll make make it look like an accident with marble peanut butter. Wow, there you go. Hey guys, we're gonna stream for a little bit longer today, but not the full 2 hours, just so you know. It's me, Michael. I'm here with him, Michael.
That's me.
A reminder that I'm fueled by not only despair and rage, but also Yes Please Coffee. If you want really good coffee, get Yes Please Coffee. There are coffee partners. A link in the description. Use our code. You get money off of the thing. I think you deserve to drink nice coffee. A reminder, you can email us at wisecracklive666@gmail.com. I got an email from someone from the Low Value Women podcast, Low Value Female podcast, and it's asking me about the voting rights of women. It's from someone named Lindsay. Lindsay, if you're here right now, I'm just like curious about what you're asking. But then you say you're Lindsay, but then the email says John. I don't know. It sounds a little fake. I don't know. I can never tell sometimes. So something else I wanted to chat about today, I'm going to do the really high-tech thing where I change the thumbnail as we talk about it.
Apparently the Low Value Female podcast fights back against the patriarchy.
That sounds cool, potentially. Okay. So let's talk. Topic 2 of the day is let's talk about social medias. We've talked about this a little bit before, and let me see if I can find something for this. Again, hey, you know what? We can do this too. If you're in Blue Sky and you want people to like follow you on there, you know, you can just post your name in the chat. Here, I'm gonna go find. I have Wisecrack's account. I will find that for you guys and I'll share it. And then if you want to follow us on there, you can.
Mine's in the chat
What
somewhere
is?
too.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna do the annoying thing where I just posted a bunch of times. If anyone wants to, that's just the Wisecrack thing. Someone already had Wisecrack, so I made it Wisecrack official,
Hell
which
yeah.
I don't know. Just sounded. Drift King Blue Sky is like alternate Twitter. So, and here I'm gonna send this TechCrunch thing, Lux, and maybe we'll pull it up in a second just to have a point of reference in talking about this. So,
Sure.
well, let's back up for a second and say this. You know, you guys might have heard of it. There was this app called Twitter, and then there was this man named Elon Musk, big apartheid head, and he took the app over largely because he was mad that people on the app didn't think he was cool. Because back in the day, I'm going to speak to you like you're all children. You're not, you're adults, but there was a point in which, at least I thought of Twitter as it existed at one point, as a great place to interact with people that were into philosophy and theory, people that were into cool music and stuff like that, journalists who would share interesting things. It just kind of was a relatively interesting place, and they had, I would say, normal controls over like what you could say and what you couldn't say. And I would say that in general, old school Twitter didn't have like a ton of Nazis on it. And when people did Nazi stuff, they kind of like at least shadow banned the Nazis or banned the Nazis. But there wasn't a lot of incredible juicing of who saw what. You know, in old Twitter, if you were verified, it just meant you were like a journalist or a celebrity, or it was a way to just say like, this is a real person. And then what happened is Elon Musk was mad that people on that website didn't think he was cool. So he put a bid on it as like a joke, but then they called his bluff and then he had to buy it. And he just like ruined it, and he changed the name to X. And then verification was a thing you bought, not earned. They started juicing who saw what, and how they saw what they saw. They said, hey, Nazis, come hang out. We're not going to get in trouble. There's a bazillion examples on that website of people saying horrifically racist Nazi things. And they're just like allowed to keep doing that. I'm sorry that chat is filtering you from posting your Blue Sky. But follow us on there. I can like repost some stuff. I don't know. But some people, yeah. Logan posted his. We're seeing some Blue Skies on here.
Let me see if I have a moderation option to
Yeah.
do anything
But,
about that. Sorry,
you know, no worries at all. No worries at all is what I just said, because I am a native English speaker.
I don't see it, but I'll keep an eye out.
All right, cool. But you know what you know, when we talk about the Twitter to X thing or whatever, you know, there's been a lot of attempts in the past year and a half to create alternative spaces to Twitter. And I think there's a lot of us who, you know, have been avid users of that platform that have struggled to leave because we feel so kind of like locked in on it. We've used it for so many years. I know for me, it's a place where I have made friends and connected with folks over the years. So it's been a hard thing to get out of for a lot of people. And for a lot of people too, if you work in like journalism or digital media or, you know, all types of places, it feels like you might have to be there or something like that. And a lot of the attempts to do something new have fallen flat historically. You know, there's the, what's the Instagram one called? Threads. I feel like Threads has never really taken off.
Mastodon,
Co-host. Yeah. And the one that someone started that was basically just like, we're going to make a thing that looks exactly like how Twitter used to look, was Blue Sky. And, you know, early on it was invite only. I got on it at one point. I made a really good Oppenheimer 9/11 joke, and then never went back because no one was really there. And in the last couple of weeks, there has actually been a concerted, not concerted, a good amount of folks who jumped over there. So there's, and this is from a recent TechCrunch thing. This came out yesterday. It says Blue Sky tops 20 million users, narrowing gap with Instagram Threads. Tons of folks who have come over. They've been crashing out recently because they're getting used to all the people being there. Now X is still dominant, but Blue Sky is finally seeming like a real thing. On the U.S. App Store, it became the #1 app on November 13th. It hasn't lost its position since. On Android devices, Blue Sky usage is up 360%. Let's see. Oh yeah, it opened its door to the public in February. Yada yada yada. But basically, it feels like for the first time, it is becoming a valid alternative to Twitter in terms of like a social media space that follows that general, model. And I think a lot of us have probably seen the thing where we see a lot of people leaving Twitter and popping over to Blue Sky and stuff like that. Hey, if you're here, like the stream, we appreciate it. But and it's interesting because I think what Twitter/X has done has turned an app into a method of communication. And Matt, I'll link the article. And made it kind of like a ubiquitous cultural space such that it feels like we need something else. And along with that, I think when people talk about, and I'll send Lux this link right now. There's a there's this Verge article as well that was from a few days ago. And this Verge article is called "The Study Found That X's Algorithm Now Loves Two Things: Republicans and Elon Musk. Researchers' findings suggest X made platform-level changes to boost Musk and other conservatives when he endorsed Donald Trump." And here's the thing, the whole gist, I guess, from Musk and his cohorts and all the weird boys that get mad anytime you say that he's bad or X is bad. Their whole thing was that the app wasn't fair and free speech and blah, blah, blah. But it's a great exemplification of how so much of the free speech stuff is just utter bullshit because, and I'll just read the first part of this Verge piece. It says, Elon Musk's X may have tweaked its algorithm to boost his account along with those of other conservative-leaning users starting around the time he announced the support of Donald Trump's presidential campaign. That's according to a new study published by the Queensland University of Technology, which found that Musk's post in particular was suddenly much more popular. Guys, I don't know if you remember this. Elon Musk left the Super Bowl last year in a private jet to fly to the offices of Twitter because he was mad that he tweeted during the Super Bowl that was like sports ball. And then Joseph Biden tweeted during the Super Bowl, was like, hey, football, but corn pop touching my leg with a football. And Elon Musk was so mad that Joe Biden's tweet was better than his or got more numbers. He flew to the office to yell at people. That's the sort of guy he is. So the study's authors looked at Musk's engagement before and after his July endorsement of Trump. Around July 13th, his post received 138% more views. And there's a little chart in the article there. And the study's results are similar to other recently reported findings by the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post of potential right-wing algorithms. And, if you go on that website now, and this is probably the nice thing about going on Blue Sky. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I load that app, it's just like normal people saying stuff. It's almost boring in a good way. It's people just being like, you ever have that thing where you fall asleep and you start a dream, but then you wake up and realize the dream wasn't real, or this video was cool, or listening to Blank's new album, just stuff like that. Whereas, when you go on Twitter, I'm going to do an experiment right now. So I'm currently logged in to Wisecrack's Twitter. I'm going to click the For You thing, and let's see what we get. The first thing I got on our For You is a post from, who is Griffin P. Davis? More like Grifter P. Nobody.
Yeah, get his ass.
He looks so sharp in the thing he posted. Let's see. I want to see if any crazy stuff comes. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh no, For You isn't. Duh. I wanted to do. Wait.
No, 4U's the bad
Fuck.
one.
Okay.
Here, like,
Let's see.
I'm sure mine is.
Oh, you know what I hate though. I'm really just gonna be honest here. I'm really gonna be honest here. It's God. I feel like they're watching. It's pretty good right now. Like honestly, it goes from like a Stavros clip to a Verso Books thing to a thing by a post-colonial author to a hymns ad to a tweet by Mr. Beat, the YouTuber, to Alex Goldman, to Adam McKay, to a thing making fun of the kid that says boom about the other thing. Okay, that's really interesting. That's really interesting, guys. I went to For You, and it actually gave me stuff that I wanted to see. So there you go. Also, it seems like the big scuttlebutt on Twitter right now, or X, is that Fox News posted a smear thing about Hassan Piker, and not named streamers are gloating in that. Okay, cool. But all that to say is a lot of people stopped. I mean, when I go on Twitter for the most part, or X, I'll probably never call it Twitter. You get a lot of weird stuff. You get a lot of Nazi type things on there. I don't love Nazi type things.
On mine, if it helps, I've been scrolling and I've seen 2 Nazi posts and 3 crypto posts, and
and all the ads are weird.
And the same picture of John Gruden 3 times.
Yeah, I get ads that are like the first fleshlight that's also an NFT. I don't need either of those things, and I definitely don't need both of those things together.
That's 2 great tastes that taste great together.
That's just me. But so I wonder, I'm curious, Lux, what you think about this? I'm curious what people in the chat think about this. Do we think there's a possibility that people actually leave X? Could it actually die?
I mean, the true thing, honestly, to me anyways, is that, like, the thing that made Twitter special is that it was the place where the people who were most interesting to talk about big events were talking about those big events.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those people are moving to Blue Sky, right? Like, a lot of sports accounts are moving over there. A lot of movie accounts are moving over there. A lot of TV accounts are moving over there. So to the degree that there is, like, monocultural anything, which, you know, iffy proposition, but, like, to the degree that it exists, Blue Sky is starting to capture some degree of that existence, right? Like, the thing with Twitter that is true and good is stuff like when the 30 to 50 feral hogs thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 hours one day, all anyone could do was make jokes about 30 to 50 feral hogs.
Oh, it's so fun.
And that doesn't really happen on there anymore. But a lot of the people who propagated that sort of thing are on Blue Sky now. So it seems possible that, say there's a big sports event, all the NFL reporters are posting to Blue Sky, not to Twitter. People have to go to Blue Sky to look at it. You reach a critical mass, like Zero says. So I think there is that possibility, like, it's an extant possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that it's not happening quite as quick as people think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I think that's the kind of thing that hockey sticks. Like, at a certain point, you get a bunch of people who everyone wants to listen to over there, and then, boo! Suddenly everyone following them pops up over there too. So I think that it's conceivable. I don't think it's happening today or tomorrow, but, like, it's, it's happening. And another thing that's cool about Blue Sky that I think helps it is that it has that feed feature, the lists feature,
mm-hmm.
where you can sign up to lists about the things that you're interested in. Like, I follow a list that shows me pictures of birds, and one that shows me pictures of fish, and one that shows me pictures of mountains, and one that shows me pictures of trees. And yeah, there are some algorithmic differences too, Logan. But, like, so because of all of that, it's a lot easier to just pop on there and bounce around and have a nice time. And then that encourages me to go back and goof around, and then when I do that, I sometimes catch the discourse of the day as it's playing out on Blue Sky, which is different than the discourse of the day as it's playing out on Twitter. So I think that there is possibility there. There's like a meaningful possibility space for that stuff. I do think that there's a certain degree of, people really want it to work. There's also a lot of internal problems with Blue Sky that are annoying. Like fucking people you show on Blue Sky and people are like, welcome to Blue Sky. On Blue Sky, we all have a nice time and we email our friends when we're mad.
Yeah, it's still a little annoying for sure.
But there's a little that shit. But in general, I think it's going pretty well. And I think it's really fun. It's a lot better than Bodwin Kirkwick, sorry if I fucked up your name, says that they use Twitter to check NBA injuries 5 minutes before the game, but like a lot of those reporters are still on Blue Sky now. So like why not just go to Blue Sky? So yeah, that's my thought. I think it's very possible. And I think it's very interesting that already a bunch of right-wing people are popping up on Blue Sky to be like, a social media website? Better argue whether trans people are real.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, shut up! Like, no one wants to hang out with you.
Yeah, and this is something, we've Lux and I have talked about off stream or whatever. But yeah, like there's a thing that is happening where, and this is kind of just a repetition of what happened with original Twitter, where Twitter itself was seen as a little bit more liberal or vaguely left because a lot of left-leaning artists and writers and people hung out there, and people got mad because they were like, we want to be popular for being transphobes. Why can't we be popular for being transphobes or for being racist? And then they took the website over and they're like, now we can do free speech, which is having a controlled feed, but we can do transphobia. And yeah, that same desire, like, it's that almost question. If anyone's like a right-wing troll in the chat, please let us know what you think about this. But yeah, it feels like some of those right-wing folks see what's happening on Blue Sky, and it's like, you already have Twitter. Like, you won. Why do you have to go there as well, And like, it's very annoying.
Like we talked about, and this might be a video one day, but like, why? Like, you don't see a bunch of leftists going to Truth Social to post.
Mm-mm.
Like, I only go there to screenshot stuff and send it to my friend Zeke.
Yeah, I have no desire to go there, to go to that place. And yeah, and I don't feel that. Like, I don't think to myself, oh, there's a space for people that have opinions that aren't mine or that I differ from. There's a space where they're popping off. I need to go there and make it about me. It's almost that, what it reminds me of vibe-wise? It's like the college student who's like, yeah, I'm here to file a petition to start the white student union because we have a black student union, and I think it's unfair that there's not a white student union. Like, it's that energy, which is, to be clear,
the Straight Kids Alliance or whatever.
Yeah, it's like not good energy, like, hey, Tetra Flies, thank you so much. Why don't we have White History Month? Like, come on, what are we doing here? It's a weird sort of childlike way of thinking that I don't love. R. Mar said, they will not be happy until everyone calls it good and right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I don't know why people are so obsessed with that. And I mean, I guess this relates, and this type of trolling, I'll send Lux this link. Someone mentioned this earlier, and we got to wrap up in a sec.
Yeah,
but
if you want to read some emails, we should start soon.
Oh yeah, there's not really any good ones, so no offense, guys.
Oh, fucking roasted. Get their asses.
Well, there's the only one there is. There's one that's a fake bill from a scammer, and there's one that's a question about the Low Value Female podcast, and that's more of an email I need to respond to. I don't think they want a response on stream. I think they want a response with the words.
Yeah, no, I think that's right.
Yeah, if you want your emails to get read on stream, write some good ones, okay?
Yeah, step it up, you dingoes.
But so this isn't good, and this is the thing I didn't quite get. I saw some posting about this, and I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. The article is that rapist supporters, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace, accused trans colleague of assault. Nancy Mace looks like Marnie from Girls a little bit.
Yeah, aged up.
Yeah, it says Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace are bringing out the rhetorical big guns to knock down Representative-elect Sarah McBride. For those who don't know, I'm pretty sure it's the first trans woman elected to Congress.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's see. They have accused her of being mentally ill and having to warn women. Now Green is claiming that a trans woman's mere presence in a bathroom is tantamount to assault. Like, which one is it, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Do you work out constantly and post pics of all your big weights because you're so tough and strong? Or does a trans woman just being near you scare you so much you're scared to go to the widow bathroom because you might get hurt? Like, which one is it? Like, all these people, like, are you an alpha hero that defends yourself and no one can scare you and I own 9011 guns? Or are you like, the existence of someone who's not like me makes me so scared? Like, just pick a team is all I'm saying. It says, I'm not kidding you, Green said. It is like a physical assault for a man to come in, charging into our private places, bathrooms, locker rooms, our gyms, places that are designated specifically for women only. Like, they're describing a trans woman probably just like walking into a bathroom, going into a room, sitting down to pee, washing her hands, and leaving. I don't know. That doesn't sound like assault to me. A 2018 study from the Williams Institute, the UCLA School of Law. Fun random fact. You know who, at least for at one point, was on the faculty of the UCLA School of Law? Earl Sweatshirt's mom.
Good for
Found
her.
that bathroom, yeah,
Girl boss.
found that bathroom-related non-discrimination laws pose practically no risk to women, and that claims to the contrary are little more than myths that are not empirically grounded. Mace elevated, and this is different than the Mace who is Puffy and Mace. Mace is different Mace. Elevated the assault claims, arguing Tuesday night on Fox News that the idea of a man walking into a locker room where I'm changing is actually, it feels like assault.
Can I?
Blah, blah, blah.
I know this is not. What I'm about to say is not a novel thought. It's not new, but like, it is. It's crazy that these people can get up and say this shit when they're like, and what we really need in the attorney general is a rapist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's banana phones.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Like Matt Gaetz, definitely bad guy. There's a lot of bad guys. And it's just so wild. And like, here's the thing too, guys. We talked before about that feeling of like things are so dumb. We know that they're not actually afraid of this person. Like, you and I know that. You and I know that MTG and the Mace who can't rap and is not a pastor.
Or play basketball.
We know. Yeah, or like, we know for a fact that neither of them are actually afraid of Representative-elect Sarah McBride taking a piss. We know that is true, right? But they just make shit up to play into this weird culture war bullshit. Also, the crazy thing too, these are people elected to represent, and this is like, acting like the system is what it says it is. These are people represented to directly serve the needs of their constituents in their towns and their communities, and they are spending their time talking about the rules for the bathroom in one of the most secure and tightly controlled buildings on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, do they literally think in the halls of Congress that Sarah McBride's gonna like wait and like beat them up? No. It's just so dumb, guys. I don't know. And I'm not even trying to be like political here. Again, no one who works at Wisecrack has ever voted, but it's just tough. It's just tough.
Trump is Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, according to Jeffrey Epstein. And they're like, a trans person might use the toilet near me.
Like, the amount, and someone made a chart about this. There's all these people who are in the Trump administration. Like, a huge chunk of them have been accused of rape and sexual assault. A bunch of them have hung out with fucking Epstein. Like, it's nuts. It's just nuts. I don't know what else to say about this, but it's not. Here's what I will say.
They're dweebs.
This is gonna be. It's not good, and I don't really know. And this is even getting back to way earlier in the show. Our buddy Drift King 305 posed the question. Which is basically like, hey, can we like do anything? Is there anything we like do about this? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna right now, guys, and this is me supporting X. I'm going to post the link. This is a Verso link to there
Yeah.
announcing the stream, and I'm gonna go pull up another link that I'm gonna send you guys because the reason we're wrapping up early is because Lux is helping Verso, the publisher. Wait, oh, hold on. I'm helping Verso run a stream. Let me just do one thing real quick. I'm just gonna send you guys a link to. Oh yeah, here we go. I found a link to the stream itself. Let me send this through here. So a cool thing. Oh wait, I just saw a super chat. I'm gonna post this link a bunch of times, and then I'm gonna go check out the super
I
chat.
can read the super chat for you really quick.
I'd love for you to watch Ben Jordan's latest video on bots in here to take triple standard. I will try to watch that video. Thank you so much for sharing that. But basically, Marjim Deed. I'm probably saying her name wrong. Wrote a book. Mariam Deed wrote a book called Everything to Play For.
It's really good.
It's about video games and culture and theory and philosophy, all sort of stuff. And she's going to hang out and game with a guy named Josh Sawyer.
Josh Sawyer, who made Pentiment and was one of the lead designers on Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, they're going to play Wolfenstein, Youngblood. They're going to talk about the state of the video game industry, positive political potential it holds, all this sort of shit. We're really excited. Actually, I'll share it on the Wisecrack account in a second so everyone sees it. But Lux is helping them run that stream. So I think, like, if you're a person that likes games, you'll really fuck with this. But if you're not, and you're just someone that, like, is interested in our general vibe and stuff we talk about, I 100% think you'll enjoy hanging out in the stream. So we're going to wrap now so Lux can go work on that. Follow us on Blue Sky. We are on Blue Sky, Katharina. I saw you ask that. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I really like it, guys. Monday, we'll be back. I'll probably just do another, like, solo thing. And if, maybe we can write another theme song together. I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. Reminder that a week from now, no Wednesday. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's a national drinking holiday in America, and we got to respect that. I might do like a quick sort of like vertical, really chill stream around Thanksgiving when I'm traveling. But 2 weeks from today, we'll be back full force. And 2 weeks from today, guys, we'll be back. And it won't just be me who's back. It will be Henry who's back. And I don't want to say too much, but I'll just say this. Some very cool guest coming down the pipeline they're going to come on stream. I'm talking about like a very popular streamer whose name I'm not going to say. I'm talking a really awesome writer. I'm talking, some hip hop artists. I'm sure a lot of cool stuff's going to come. So thanks again to you guys. Thank you so much for Lux holding it down. Go to the Verso page in half an hour to check out that stream, and we will see you on Monday. How it going, guys?
Bye. Artie Fox is right. Organize and look into local movements. That's your answer to do you have any agency? Goodbye, friends.
Sorry for going right down to the wire for you.